First, I'd like to address the role of Congress with regard to international agreements. There are those who think that it is our duty as members of Congress to rubber stamp or at least approve any important international agreement. The number one international agreement left to deal with in this administration is TPP. It is the number one remaining objective of this president. It is certainly the most important international vote that we will cast. I do not think any member should vote for or against TPP based on the view that we should transfer our responsibilities to the executive branch. You should vote for or against TPP based on whether it's in the interests of the United States in your own conscience. And likewise, that would apply to other agreements that are put before us. And I will not question the judgment or constitutional dedication of anyone who votes one way or the other on TPP. As to the Iran nuclear deal, this bill does not violate it. It would be a violation if it sought to punish European banks for loaning money to Iran. The bill does not do that. What it does is it says that financing to Iran, which was never promised in Geneva, never promised in Vienna, will not be provided by American banks to purchase aircraft. That's important because these aircraft are used to take weapons and material and I'll call them fighters from the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps to Syria, where they kill people. It's important because we should not expose our banks to the risk of billions or tens of billions, as the gentlelady from California points out, of risk that Iran will not pay them, as Iran has defaulted on many of its international commercial obligations. And finally, we should not have a situation where banks on Wall Street are here lobbying, saying make this or that concession to Iran or they won't pay their debts to American banks, and then you'll have to bail them out. Now, it is said that because the agreement contains language saying everybody should work together, that we have an obligation to overperform, to do far more than we ever promised. What did Iran do? How did they interpret that same provision? Within a month of signing the agreement, they violated UN Security Council resolutions to test missiles for the sole purpose of being able to deliver a payload to Europe and eventually to the United States. Iran, at best, is living within the exact letter of this agreement. The only time they did anything more was they accelerated the day on which they would get their money. But other than that, they have not done anything beyond the exact letter of the agreement, and neither should we. Not for a country responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths and millions of refugees in Syria. So you can think one way or the other of the Iran nuclear deal. But when the president presented it to us, he said he was going to be tough in carrying it out, give no quarter when it comes to Iran supporting terrorism, and certainly not make gifts to Iran while it's a terrorist state beyond those required by the agreement. Let's not expose American depositors and banks to the risk that they will not be paid tens of billions of dollars by Iran. Let's not create tens of billions of reasons for Wall Street to become a political ally of Iran in order to get repaid. And let us not abdicate our constitutional responsibilities as found in Article 1, the only place in the Constitution that talks about international commerce. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition? For what purpose does the gentleman from Arizona seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to strike the light.